Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 44 of Ladies First. I am your host, Amber Vickers. I think it's almost our 1 year anniversary. It is almost the 1 year anniversary of Ladies First. I got my t shirt on representing. I want to thank Perry and the Unwrapped Sports Network for giving me this opportunity. But I started this show last August, and man, how far we have come since last August with between the pandemic, thinking we were okay, another pandemic. So there's a lot that's happened. Basketball just seems like it's just ran all year long. And we got football tonight. The Cowboys and the Steelers are playing in the Hall of Fame game. Football will be back. So we will have football every week until February. That's great. College football is coming back. I did a Big 12 preview with Ethan on Saturday Standouts. So you guys go check that out. But before I get into the show, we're going to do a couple of sponsors. Let's get into a couple of sponsors. If you want to know how I got this cool t-shirt I have on now, let me bring that up. Check out teespring.com/stores/unwrapped. We got OG gear. We got some new label gear. Of course, LeBron gear. We'll talk about the Lakers a little bit, but I'm going to talk about them more on Count the Bucket on Saturday. That'll be a free agent show type of show. We got Fights Unwrapped that went on before me. Generation Z with Connie and Josh, the Fourth Man Pod. 3-on-3 is going on right now. They get some great guests. The People's XFL show. Ladies First, as I told you guys before, you get t-shirts and mugs. Saturday Standouts is now with Caleb and Ethan. Backstop Banter goes on right after me with my co-host Michael for Count the Bucket and then Connie. So Connie has two shows. Business Casual Basketball with Aaron goes on before Fights Unwrapped. Keeping It Blunt, The Prop Bros, and a Long Bow Lounge with Jesse. So check out teespring.com/stores/unwrapped to find out how to get this cool t-shirt. Also, you guys want to do some betting. I know a lot of betting is going on right now because the Hall of Fame game is getting ready to start. So if you guys want to just bet on some things, the draft, there were props for the draft. Plenty of props tonight. Check out mybookie.ag. Use the code USN100 to double your first deposit. Like I said, you can bet on any and everything. Let's look at the sports book. MMA goes every week, it seems like. A lot of NFL stuff going on. MLB. The basketball odds. USA is playing France for the gold medal for the men's, I believe. Yes. And the women play, I think, in the morning. I believe the women play in the morning. We'll look at that schedule in a minute. But there's NASCAR. There's any and everything you can bet on at mybookie.ag. Use that code USN100 to double that first deposit. Okay. The first topic tonight will be the Olympic Games. Let's talk about the Olympics and what's been happening in the Olympic Games. I haven't been able to watch it as much as I thought I would do. We know so far we've had gymnastics, softball, 3-on-3. I think baseball's going on right now. I caught some of the springboard diving, and let me tell you, springboard diving is a very interesting art. It's become so interesting to me that I understand how judges judge dives. My mom said, "How do you know this?" I said, "Well, I've been watching YouTube videos on and listening to the announcers talk about why they lost points on this dive, why they got penalized, the difficulty of the dive." So me and my mom watched a little springboard diving over the weekend, and the Chinese are great at springboard diving. Let me tell you, their form is so perfect. It was just amazing to watch. And there was a guy that didn't get to quite finish his flip, and he landed on his back. We saw that as well. So yeah, the Chinese, that's one they usually dominate that I know of. And it was just flawless. It was beautiful. There's no splash when they hit the water. They complete the whole routine. They go straight in because they judge you. If you go just like this, because a couple of Americans were kind of like this, but the Chinese, they went straight through. And we're going to see who won those. I'm not going to be able to pronounce the names, but I will show you on the screen who won those events. I've watched some gymnastics on my phone. I haven't watched any of the basketball because I'm asleep And I know the men played last night on Peacock and they were down by 15 and they came back and beat Australia. Kevin Durant had a good game. Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, those guys had great games. So, and then I saw that Slovenia, the country that Luka plays for, got beat by France by 1 point. So we don't get to see Luka in the gold medal game, but Nicolas Batum plays for France. So you get to see Nicolas Batum. Luis Scola retired from foreign basketball. I believe both Gasol brothers also retired from foreign basketballs. Marc Gasol's already announced that he's going to come back to Lakers and finish out his contract. I think this is his last year on his contract. So the Olympic Games have been very interesting. Track and field for the women. Jamaica has made some noise, which we already knew that would happen. Jamaica's made some noise. The men didn't qualify for the 4x1. The U.S. men did not qualify for the 4x1. They finished 6th in their heat, so they did not qualify. But Allison Felix, I think she either runs today. I think she runs sometime today. So, well, tonight or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. China is already tomorrow in Japan. Excuse me. It's already tomorrow in Japan. So I want to see some of that track and field, but track and field is so quick. It's just so quick. And it's very exciting to watch. I think gymnastics is done. Simone Biles took a break, which I salute her for. I want to talk about her at the end of this. I'm going to send my prayers. I'm going to have my prayers. If I look up every now and then, I got the game on in front of me. But I'm going to do my prayer segment tonight, and I'm going to send a prayer out to her and Naomi Osaka. So, Naomi Osaka, excuse me. So she took a break because she was not mentally there and came back and won bronze. I watched men's rings too. I watched the men do the rings for gymnastics. I wanted to catch the pommel horse. I love the pommel horse. I've been watching those videos on YouTube. I haven't been able to catch that. So those are some events that I want to catch. But the springboard, if you guys want to watch perfection with gymnastics, you have to be perfect in gymnastics. The springboard is something that is so fascinating to watch. The men are playing for the gold, thank goodness. The women are in the semifinals. So the women are in semifinals against, we'll look at the schedule. I can't remember who they're playing against, but Asia Wilson has been playing very well. Brianna Stewart's been playing very well. The USA women's team is clicking like I thought they would. Of course, Dawn Staley is at the helm coaching them. You don't really see the US women lose in the Olympics. I talked about the talent gap before. I've talked about it before. And the men international talent gap is closing. The women's is too, but it's not closing as quickly as the men's talent gap. The men's talent gap, you can see it. They're used to playing with each other. International teams are used to playing with each other. They probably pick up a couple of NBA players, and those NBA players have probably played with the international team, which I know they have. Somebody said they were surprised Giannis didn't play with his international team, which I'm not. He just won NBA Finals. He hurt his knee. He wants to chill. I get it. I don't think the brothers played for the team either. So the international gap for the women is slowly closing, but it's taking some time. It's taking some time. But some of those women, they play against, because women, after they get done with their season in September or October, if they make it to the finals, it's usually beginning of October, they go overseas and play. So they're used to that international competition. The men are not used to international competition, and it shows. International game, I think they allow their players to be a little bit more physical. There are some things that are not called in an international game. Yes, the three-point line is closer. They play with a different type of ball. Women are used to it. Women play more international ball than they do stateside ball, I want to say. I think the seasons are probably similar in length, but the women are very accustomed to it. The men, you can tell their first game, they were trying to get adjusted to it and things like that. But I want to look at the medal count. Then we're going to dive in and see how many women have won medals. I want to look at how many women have won medals, which is going to be a lot. But I want to shout some people out that have won medals. Okay. People's Republic of China have 34 gold, 24 silver, and 16 bronze. United States has 29 gold, 35 silver, and 27 bronze. Now, I'm trying to figure out how they rank this. I think they ranked People's Republic of China ahead of the US because they have more golds, but US has more of everything else. You see the total medal count is 91. Let me see how many Jamaica has. Jamaica has 7, and I bet they're all from track and field. Let's look. Female athletics. Let's look at this. So I want to look and see how many. Okay. So the men's 100 meter, they won gold in. And then they won gold in a discus throw. 4x4 mixed. The women won gold. Women's, oh yeah, Jamaica swept the 100 meter for the women. Shot put. They didn't win shot put. No, Jamaica didn't win shot put. Jamaica didn't win discus throw either. I'm sorry. Let me look, see what they've won. No, they didn't win that one. Okay, so this is, okay, so it's breaking down all the medals. Okay, here we go. That makes sense. So the U.S. won bronze in the 4x4 mixed for the women. Jamaica swept 100 meter. We know that. Raven Saunders, her mom passed away a couple of days ago. I think a day or two ago, she passed away. So prayers to her. She won silver in the shot put. Let's see, triple jump. I don't know what country that is. 100 meter final. U.S. won that for men's. Greece won the long jump. Cuba finished second and third. 100 meter hurdles. U.S. finished second. Oh, yes. Jasmine Camacho Quinn, which her brother plays in NFL. She finished first. The discus throw. U.S. finished first. Steeplechase. I don't know what the steeplechase is. I have no clue what that is, guys. The 5,000 meter final. I wonder what flag that is. That's already done. The long jump, U.S. won silver. Germany won gold. Nigeria won bronze. 400 meters, U.S. won silver. The pole vault, U.S. won silver. The hammer throw was dominated by Poland and China. 800 meters, U.S. got two medals. 200 meter final, Jamaica got gold. U.S. got bronze. The hurdles, Sid won, of course. I think both of those women broke the record for a 400 meter hurdle. I don't know I need to find out what the steeplechase is. I really do. 200 final. Okay. August the 5th. Triple jump. Shot put. Because I think track is pretty much finished up. That's why I'm looking at all the track. If you guys ever watched race walking, it is so good to watch. Oh my goodness. Race walking is so good to watch. But that's what the U.S. is right now. They're behind China because with the People's Republic of China, because China has more gold medals, but the U.S. have more overall medals. I think that's all I want to talk about for the Olympic Games. Like I said, I haven't been able to really watch it and dive into it like I want to. I just know that Jamaica has really done well in track, and all their medals are pretty much from track, from the Jamaican women and the Jamaican men. I think there are a couple of more Olympic events for track and field left next couple of days. Well, probably today, and maybe, well, it's already Friday the 6th in Tokyo, and closing ceremony is Sunday. So it might be a couple of events left. So we'll see about that. But to my next subject, the WNBA is almost back. Yes. Whew. Commissioner's Cup next Thursday. So I will probably not do a show next Thursday. I'm not quite sure. It just depends, because the Commissioner's Cup will be on. I will be locked in and watching that. You probably won't get a show next Thursday. I might push it and do it on Friday, because I want to talk about the Commissioner's Cup and what to expect from teams in the second half with somebody else. I'm going to talk about some second half scheduling. We'll look at the second half of the schedule, and we'll look at the standings. But you know that Connecticut Sun and Seattle Storm are playing for the Commissioner's Cup. I'm going to show you guys how and why that happens, because I know a lot of people are confused. Heck, I was confused about the WNBA Commissioner's Cup standings and things like that. So we're going to jump into that. A Sunday at 8. Well, I might be able to do ladies first. I can do ladies first because it doesn't come on until 8 o'clock. So I'll probably do a ladies first. So let's look at standings. I'm going to show you how these two teams got here. So there are regular season standings, and then there's Commissioner's Cup standings. So Connecticut finished first in the East. As you guys know, in the WNBA, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now, the WNBA doesn't have conferences when it comes to the playoffs. They got rid of the conferences, and they said the top 8 teams go. So whether the top 8 records, they go. But this season, to celebrate their 25th anniversary, they threw in a Commissioner's Cup with a little money prize added on to it, which I think is amazing. It shows growth, and it shows revenue potential as well. So Connecticut finished first in the East. Seattle finished first in the West. We knew it would be either Seattle or Vegas. Minnesota did sneak in there and finish second. I thought Chicago might have had a chance to finish first, but when Candace Parker and Dawson and Quigley all got hurt, kind of broke their momentum a little bit. It broke their momentum more than they wanted it to. But they still finished second in the East. New York Liberty surprised me this season, and they've been playing very well. Very young team. I'm looking forward to the second half. The Indiana Fever got off the schneid a little bit and won a couple of games. And I was like, yes, because I cheer hard for the Indiana Fever because of Danielle Robinson. She plays for the Indiana Fever, and I love watching her play. So they got off the schneid. The Sparks are struggling. They're struggling. Dallas is struggling a little bit as well. I want to see if Diana Taurasi can come back healthy for the Phoenix Mercury. Vegas is going to be there. I feel like Minnesota is going to be there as well. Cheryl Reeve has done a great job mixing and matching lineups with all the injuries that she's dealt with. The Mystics just miss Ella Del Don. They miss her because Tina Charles was playing like an MVP candidate. There were some games they only had 7 or 8 players suit up. Natasha Cloud's been in and out the lineup. Ariel Atkins has really come on this season. I'll probably have her in my most improved conversation. The Atlanta Dream. What's going to happen with Kennedy Carter? Tiffany Hayes is coming back from that knee injury. Courtney Williams, first-time All-Star. Congratulations to you, Courtney Williams. Monique Billings, she's played well. She stepped up. I want to see if Shakina Strickland can get some more minutes. But Kennedy Carter's situation in Atlanta, we're going to figure that out. Their interim coach stepped down, and they now have a new coach. I'm looking forward for a second half push from them. The New York Liberty, a young team, start off pretty hot. Sabrina has been in and out the lineup. Bejana Laney has played very, very well for them. Of course, they missed Natasha Howard, their big acquisition from the Seattle Storm. They signed Clendon for the rest of Clendon signed with Minnesota. Never mind. So when I look at New York, I look and see how they can make a push as well. They're on Chicago's tails. Let's look at the standings, the overall standings, should I say. And let's see how close they are to Chicago. Yeah, they're right behind Chicago. So the top 8 teams go. But that's how the Commissioner's Cup was determined, guys. That's how it was determined. You play your in-conference games. Whoever had the best record in conference, which was the East and the West, you had the best record. Those 2 teams play in the Commissioner's Cup. Now the WNBA playoffs is different. And I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do the format this year. Because I think last season, like the first 2 teams got 2 buys or so. It was something crazy about a buy. But I will look into that as we get closer. Commissioner's Cup, August 12th at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. So I will be able to do ladies first. So I'll do ladies first at 7, and then I'll watch the Commissioner's Cup. And then we'll probably talk about it that next Thursday. We'll talk about that next Thursday. But Seattle has the best record, followed by Vegas, followed by Connecticut, Minnesota, Chicago, New York, the Mercury, and the Mystics. So these are the top 8 teams. Can Indiana make a push? Because for a while, they just had 1 win. Okay, Indiana had 1 win. They got a little hot. Not too hot, but they got a little hot. They won 3 in a row. Minnesota's the hottest team right now with 7 wins in a row. 7 in a row. The Sparks are not looking too good. They've lost 6 in a row. Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream, have lost 4 in a row. So these teams at the bottom still have a chance. There is still a chance. They haven't been eliminated from playoff contention. But I'm going to look at this schedule, and I want to see. Let's look at some key dates. Well, no, let's look at the schedule. I want to see who, I'm going to start from the bottom and see who they have left, who Indiana has left. I'm not going to predict wins and losses because that's very difficult. I'm not going to predict wins and losses. I'm just not going to do it. That'd be too hard for me. All right. So they play the Sparks, the Mercury, Dallas, Vegas, Sparks again, Mercury back to back, Fever back to Fever 3 times in a row. The Lynx, and then the Fever. They finished the season out against the Sky. I'm sorry. They don't play the Fever. They are the Fever. Sorry. They play Phoenix Mercury back to back. Sorry. Minnesota back to back. Then they play Atlanta. Then they play Minnesota again. Then they play Chicago. I don't know what I was looking at. I have no clue of what I was looking at. So let's go through this again. The Sparks, the Mercury, the Wings, the Aces, the Sparks again, the Mercury, the Lynx, the Dream, the Lynx, and the Sky. Whew. That's a tough schedule. That is a tough schedule for them. They could probably pull off some wins, though. I think they can pull off some wins. They got 3 wins in a row to finish before the Olympic break. I'm not going to look at everybody's schedule. I'm just going to look at some of these schedules and figure out if they can make a push. Let's see if Atlanta can make a push. Let's look at their schedule. They have theirs in a PDF. Oh, Atlanta. Can I scroll? Okay, here we go. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 games. 13 games left. So you got 13 games to make a push. You got Phoenix, LA, Phoenix, Chicago, Vegas, Dallas, Phoenix, Washington, Indiana, Los Angeles, and Connecticut. So Connecticut is number 3 overall. Vegas is number 2 overall. They have a very winnable schedule. Los Angeles is struggling. Dallas is struggling. Washington is struggling. Indiana is struggling. Phoenix, we got to see if Diana Taurasi can come back good and healthy. Although Skylar Diggins has been playing very well. Brittany Griner has been playing well. But they have a very favorable schedule. I like their schedule a lot. And I like the way they did that format too. But Candace Dupree is now signed with the Atlanta Dream. Seattle Storm let her go. Like I said before, Mike Peterson, he stepped down from the head coaching role for Atlanta. I think that was the best thing for him. I said that before, him and Kennedy Carter, I don't think they saw eye to eye. Let me look at Seattle's schedule, the number 1 team. And then we're going to look at Vegas and see Those top 3 or 4 teams, we're going to see if they can catch each other. Let's see. All right, here we go. They got the Commissioner's Cup, of course. And then we got Chicago, New York, Washington, Minnesota, Chicago, New York, Washington, Los Angeles, and Phoenix. They got Chicago a lot. They're playing Chicago, which is going to be a great game. First game back, of course, on ABC. They got Chicago 1, 2, 3. They got Chicago 3 times. So I think there's 13 games left. Well, 14 for Connecticut. I wonder if the Commissioner's Cup game does not count against your record. I don't believe it does. So that's what Seattle's schedule looks like. Let me look at Vegas' schedule. Oh, no, Quinn did agree to an extension. So shout out to No Quinn for agreeing to a multi-year extension with the Seattle Storm. I know there was some news I wanted to get into, but it's just popping right up for me. So that's pretty good. Okay, Las Vegas. Let's see what their schedule looks like. Can they catch Seattle? Can they catch Seattle? I just want to see the schedule. Okay, here we go. All right. They got Washington back-to-back. Connecticut, Atlanta, Indiana, Chicago, Minnesota, Dallas, Chicago again, and Phoenix. Ooh, I don't know who has because they play Chicago multiple times too, and I know Chicago wants to move up in those standings as well. So let me see how many playoff teams they got on here so far. They got Connecticut's a playoff team, Chicago's a playoff team, Minnesota's a playoff team. Minnesota might be looking at that spot too. And Phoenix is a playoff team. So they got some playoff teams on their schedule. Seattle does too. I just like Atlanta's schedule. I really do. I want to see Atlanta make that push. I'm going to look at Connecticut's schedule last. And we'll talk a little bit about NBA free agency. I don't want to download it. Let's see. Let me look at it. Okay, here we go. They play the Commissioner's Cup, of course. Play Seattle. Then they got Dallas, Minnesota, Vegas, Los Angeles, Connecticut. No, I'm sorry. Washington, Dallas, LA, Phoenix, New York, Atlanta. I don't know why I keep looking at that. They are the Connecticut Sun. Let me do that again, guys. They have the Commissioner's Cup next Thursday. Dallas, Minnesota, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Washington, Dallas, Los Angeles, Phoenix, New York, Atlanta. They have a very favorable schedule as well. They only have, well, actually, let me look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 4 playoff teams on their schedule. 4 playoff teams on their schedule thus far. So the second half really looks promising for some teams. I really want to see if certain teams can make a push. I'm not quite sure if they can, but I really think Atlanta's my team to watch. If you guys cannot tell, I'm really looking forward to watching the Atlanta Dream play in the second half of the season. All right. It's not going to be a long show tonight, guys. It's going to be a pretty short show because the ladies are not playing basketball right now. And the Olympics is going on. It's happening. I'm excited for that. I talk a lot of NBA basketball on Count the Bucket, so I don't get too deep into it. But I will talk a little bit of free agency, and we'll see who the women play tomorrow. Then I do my prayers, and then we'll just head out so I can watch the rest of this game. Free agency, in the NBA. And everybody looked forward to it. The NBA draft, I did NBA draft night. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and also commenting on NBA draft night I did last week. But free agency, man, it has been crazy. Shams and Woj and Chris Haynes and Mark Stein, they've just been busy. I could not keep up with who signed with who and when. I have a whole list on my phone of free agent signings so far, but things that happen so fast and so rapid. Well, agreements, I can say, because you cannot sign, I think, until Monday. I don't think you can sign until Monday, I believe. So right now you're just agreeing to terms. And I don't think trades can be completed until Monday either. Let me look that up. Let's look that up and see when you can do all of that. I need important dates. Free agency. Let me click on free agency. Free agency explainer. Oh, wow. They got a whole tab to explain free agency. All right. Offer sheets, qualifying offers, unrestricted. Okay, here we go. This is how it's done. So the 2nd through the 6th, which is today, teams may not sign most free agents or make trades starting at, negotiate deals with free agents. However, those players cannot officially sign until midnight on Friday. So midnight on Friday is when teams can sign. Okay, midnight on Friday is when teams can sign their players. Let's see if I see anything else. Let me share this screen with you guys so you guys can see what I see. I'm so glad they explained it. Oh my goodness, because I would have been so lost. All right. So teams can waive players or claim players waived by other teams. Two-way contracts. This explains what all their terminology is. But the most important dates, I think, were Monday and Friday. So Friday at midnight, that's when they can sign. Monday is when free agency all kicked off. So I think those are the only 2 dates I really cared about in the first place. Okay, NBA is not going to give me that. Thank you very much. Those are only 2 dates I cared about. So Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Woj and Shams had the tweets in the drafts. They were ready. They were ready to put it out there. Just like the draft, we knew who was going to be drafted 1, 2, and 3 before anything. We knew at noon who was going to be drafted. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, the rest of the draft, very surprising. That was some surprising picks in the draft. We talked about that on Count the Bucket. I reacted to it live as well. And I want to say that I was a little shocked at some of these free agent agreements. I was a little shocked. Probably the most shocking for me, I did not expect DeMar DeRozan to agree to a deal with the Bulls, with the Chicago Bulls. I almost called them Los Angeles Bulls, with the Chicago Bulls. We know what happened on draft night. Russ went to LA. Spencer Dinwiddie is now in DC. Melo is in LA. Malik Monk is in LA. I think that's an underrated signing. I like Malik Monk a lot. Devontae Graham, my guy, is in New Orleans. Lonzo Ball is out. He's in Chicago. So now Chicago has Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Kobe White. I think Lauri Markkanen is a free agent, and I think he was entertaining Charlotte and somebody else he was entertaining. So I think he's going to be probably gone. Does Zion have enough help in New Orleans to keep him there? The Knicks got Kemba Walker, re-signed Derrick Rose, very smart. I think Elfrid Payton is gone. Now that you have Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose, what does that do for the growth of Immanuel Quickley? You drafted him last season out of Kentucky. He played very, very well for you. What does that do for his growth? Julius Randle agreed to an extension. You got Mitchell Robinson coming back from injury. You still got Obi Toppin there. So they're young in New York, but Kemba goes back home. And we know what Kimba looked like in Madison Square Garden. If you watch the Big East tournament, you know what Kimba used to look like in Madison Square Garden. So I'm eager to see him healthy. I want to see him healthy and whole and get back to that Kimba Walker we all know and love. OKC, I think, eats his salary. I believe they eat his salary. I have to look at the details, which they'll have the details on Friday. So we'll probably talk about it on Count the Bucket on Saturday. But I think they're going to eat some of his salary. We know Melo's with the Lakers. Shout out to Melo's probably finally going to play with LeBron. Play again with Russell Westbrook. I know they enjoy playing with each other in OKC. Kyle Kuzma's gone. KCP is gone. Caruso is now a Chicago Bull as well. So you got Caruso, Lonzo, and DeRozan. That's not bad for Chicago free agent signings. And you got Vucevic last year in the trade. You drafted Kobe White. Who's their number one? That's what I'm wondering. Who is the Bulls' number one option? That's a good problem to have. But I thought Caruso was going to stay in LA. I thought he would, but I'm happy for Alex Caruso. Get him to play with a young team there in Chicago. The Lakers got a little older. They did re-sign THT. Taylor Horton Tucker, if you don't know who THT is, Taylor Horton Tucker, Big 12 guy, played for Iowa State. They did re-sign him. Markieff Morris moved on to the Miami Heat. I'm remembering this off the top of my head. I'm going to forget some people, and we're going to talk about it on Count the Bucket, so don't worry. The biggest, I think, signing for me probably was Russell going to LA. I kind of saw it coming, but he went back home to go play in LA. Kyle Lowry went to Miami when I thought he was going home in Philly. Ben Simmons is still in Philly. Philly also got Andre Drummond. Him and Joel Embiid can play together because Joel Embiid can't step outside the paint and hit shots. Dwight Howard's now a Laker again. So somebody made a joke on Twitter about the Lakers having an old YMCA team pulling up to the YMCA and running the court. I want the Lakers to get younger. I've said that before, but I also think that having that veteran leadership is important too, because I think Carmelo Anthony would help them off the bench. Dennis Schroeder, we don't know what's going to go on with him. That is probably the biggest question mark they have. What are you going to do with Dennis Schroeder? Do you bring him off the bench as a sixth man like he did in OKC? Montrezl Harrell is gone too. Also, he is with the Washington Wizards. Speaking of six men, Lou Williams is back in Atlanta. I think he should finish his career in Atlanta. I think that's only fitting for him. He signed a 1-year deal in Atlanta. Do you bring him off the bench? He declined 4-year, $80 million, I believe. John Collins also declined his deal with Atlanta at first, but he signed 5 years. He's going to sign 5 years, $125 million. I don't know about Schroeder, man. I don't, because he had flashes last season of, that Schroeder we loved in OKC. But I do think he's better off coming off the bench. I love him coming off the bench. Like, I always thought Lou Will was better off coming off the bench as well. I might be in a minority in that, but I really think that Lou Will played his best when he came off the bench. I think that's the same for Dennis Schroeder. I think he played his best when he came off the bench and be that spark. The spark off the bench for LA next season is probably going to be Malik Monk and Melo. And Dwight Howard's going to do what he does, but Malik Monk and Melo is going to be that spark off the bench for the Lakers. If Melo does not start, which I would rather see Melo come off the bench, but we'll see. I don't think the Lakers have a backup point guard. Let me think. I think Caruso was it last year. Yeah, I don't think the Lakers have a backup PG. So if Schroeder was to resign, I just don't know, because LeBron plays point forward a lot, but I think he's going to let Russ handle the ball a little bit and create, and that takes a lot of weight off LeBron's shoulders. I'm going to talk about that on Count the Bucket. I want to see how that's going to work. I really want to see how Frank Vogel's going to tweak those lineups and get them to work. Sharife Cooper. I know I'm all over the place right now, but I'm thinking about players and I'm thinking about the draft. Sharife Cooper, I think, got drafted in a great situation in Atlanta. He fell in the draft, and people were like, what? Sharif Cooper is a first round talent. He went to Auburn. I thought he was going to go to the G League, but he decided to go to Auburn and play for 1 year. We know his sister Taya Cooper plays for the Los Angeles Sparks. They're just a basketball family. Okay, they're just a basketball family. It's in their blood. It's in their DNA. When he fell to Atlanta, I said, oh my goodness. But then Atlanta resigns Lou Williams. So can him and Lou Williams play together? Probably. Cam Reddish will probably be, he might start next year. I don't know. Atlanta has some guards, but I think Sharif Cooper makes the team. And I think he's going to be an impact player on that second unit. That'll be very fun to watch for Atlanta. I'm trying to think of any more. Dallas, Tim Hardaway Jr. re-signed with Dallas. I wonder what they're going to do with Jalen Brunson. I think Cam Payne is coming back to the Valley to play for Phoenix. I think Chris Paul agreed to an extension with Phoenix after those rumblings about maybe him going to New Orleans, where it all started. But Monty Williams was his coach when he was younger, so I think he wants to ride it out and finish his career with Monty Williams, and I love that. They also got JaVale McGee. What the Clippers do? The Clippers haven't done. Did the Clippers do anything in free agency? No, they have not. Think about all these teams, guys. Denver, JaMychal Green resigned in Denver. Torrey Craig left Denver. I forgot where he went, but he left Denver. I think he was a key piece for them. Let me think. OKC, of course, we just drafted. We got rid of Kemba Walker. We did get Derek Favors. OKC did get Derek Favors from Utah. Utah signed Hassan Whiteside. Portland's done little things. I'm trying to think of who Portland has signed. I think Tony Snell they signed. Norman Powell got 5 years. Congratulations to Norman Powell. I don't think they've done enough to keep Dame because I think the other teams around them have gotten better, honestly. So I don't think they've done enough to keep Dame in Portland, but we'll see. He's a very loyal guy. So I think he finishes out the season in Portland. I really do. But I think next season he might go elsewhere. The Knicks were really hot for him. They were hot for Kawhi too. The Knicks do enough to get over that first round hump. Did they do enough to get back into the playoffs? Indiana hasn't done anything yet. You got a healthy TJ. Well, you have a TJ Warren coming off an injury. Hopefully he's healthy. Miles Turner coming off injury. Hopefully he's healthy. You got Sabonis there. You got Brogdon there. They have some nice pieces there in Indiana. They drafted Chris Diarute. I hope I said his name right. Diarute out of Oregon. He is going to be nice. I loved him at Oregon. Go Ducks. Victor Oladipo agreed to the Miami Heat with another extension with the Miami Heat. The Spurs got, who did the Spurs pick up? I cannot remember who the Spurs got in free agency. Guys, I'm doing all this off the top of my head. Like I said, I'll go into detail about it on Count the Bucket on Saturday because it's just a lot to keep up with. Let me think. If anybody else big, I thought Russ was the biggest signing. Well, trade and sign. I thought that was the biggest one. And then next, I'll probably go Chris Paul. And then next, I'll probably go Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's signing surprised me with Miami, although I felt like there were rumblings and Pat Riley wanted to make a move there at point guard. I think Dragic is out. Kendrick Nunn signs with the Lakers too. Oh, that's right. Lakers got Kendrick Nunn. So there's your backup PG. They got him 2 years, $10 million. I think he took a pay cut. I think he deserves more than $5 million a year. But they got their backup PG and Kendrick Nunn. He's a young guy. He'll lead that second unit with Malik Monk and THT and Melo and Dwight Howard. Miami got Lowry. Jimmy Butler agreed, I think, to an extension. Yes, Jimmy Butler agreed to an extension. And then you have Victor Oladipo agreeing as well. The Houston Rockets, who did Detroit get? Who left Houston? Aaron Baines got released, I know, from the Raptors, I believe. Daniel Tice. Who did Daniel Tice sign with? Daniel Tice signed with somebody. I'm gonna get into all this on Saturday. I'm just trying to figure out top of my head. I'm trying to figure out who the Spurs signed, what Houston did. Houston drafted very well. I give them probably an A in the draft. They drafted very well. They took the 16th pick from OKC. The Spurs got somebody. They don't have DeMar DeRozan anymore. LaMarcus Aldridge is talking about making a comeback if he's healthy enough. Yikes. I cannot think of anybody else. But don't worry. Count the bucket. We're going to dive into it. It's going to be our free agency show. I cannot wait to do it. Let's look and see. That's it for NBA news. That's all I can think of, guys. All I can think of off the top of my head. I think I did pretty good. I know I missed some players. I know I did. But for the most part, I did pretty good. All right, let's see who Team USA women play next. Okay, that's not what I want. Let's see. I'm going to show you who plays next for Team USA women. We know the men are playing France. The women are in the semifinals. Let's look at the schedule. Okay, tomorrow at 7:35 a.m. we got track, the 400 meter. They play Serbia today at 11:40. So 11:40 tonight, they play Serbia semifinals. That should be interesting. Let's click on that. See if the Serbians have anybody I know. I can't pronounce any of these names. Not anybody that I know. But they play Serbia at 11:40. So if you want to catch the women play, I think they play. Oh, goodness. If you have Peacock, you can automatically watch it. I wonder what channel they play on. You just look up Olympics. You probably can find it on Hulu or something like that. But they play Serbia at 11:40. So if you can stay up late and watch it, more power to you, because I will probably be asleep. I know the men play on Peacock, but the women have been playing on Think USA or any kind of app you can watch it on. But I know they're making it hard to watch men's games for some reason. I don't understand why. Women having easy access hasn't been happening for us lately, so I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to end my show with prayers. So I want to say this. Jalen Rose made a great point on Jalen and Jacoby. If you don't watch Jalen and Jacoby, man, you're missing out. Just think about what Simone Biles has had to go through. He said this also on The Breakfast Club. He did an interview on The Breakfast Club as well. She has to be perfect all the time. Not sometimes, not part of the time, not on one routine or portion of the routine. She has to be perfect all the time. Just imagine having to play basketball. He said this on The Breakfast Club. I'm paraphrasing, that you have to be perfect every single night. Jalen Rose is like, I can have a bad night playing basketball, but I know I can come back the next game and be great. In gymnastics, you don't have that luxury of being great. All you have is that one shot. That's all you have is that one routine. And she performed multiple routines. She had a floor exercise. She had the vault, uneven bars, I think team competition. She had so much to do. And for people to criticize her mental health was sickening. It was just so sickening because we've seen athletes come out and talk about it. And everybody has mental health issues. Nobody is perfect. Somebody is going through something at any given time. I just don't understand it. Naomi Osaka, same way. She took a break. There's a whole Netflix documentary on it. I'm going to watch it when I'm in the right headspace to watch it. I have to be in the right headspace to watch certain things. She talked about needing a mental break from tennis. Tennis, you have to be pretty good as well. Now, she can have a bad serve. It might cost her a point. She can double fault and it cost her a point. But tennis, you have a lot of eyes on you on tennis as well. She's a woman of color, and people have already been comparing her to Venus and Serena. That is a very high pedestal to get compared to. That is tough. Simone Biles, I think, is the winningest Olympian in gymnastics history. Shout out to her. Everything she went through with Larry Nassar. Just, I don't even want to talk about that. But she has overcome so much in her life. Naomi Osaka, Haitian dad, Japanese mom, has overcome a lot in her life as well. Being biracial is a lot. Being biracial and being in tennis that's usually dominated by people that don't look like you, but has been dominated by a black women here in these past probably 15 years. And then you're getting put in the same category as them, put on the same pedestal as them. I know that is very, very difficult. Sidebar, Richard Williams, the movie with Will Smith, is coming out November the 9th on HBO Max and in theaters. I encourage you guys to go watch the trailer on it. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. But those two women have endured so much at trying to be perfect and trying to be women of color and break those barriers in sports that don't necessarily favor women of color. I remember watching Dominique Dawes as an Olympian, and she was so great, so young. Gabrielle Douglas, so great, so young. Simone Biles, so great, so young. And you have to continue that greatness, or people frown upon your mistakes, or they frown upon you saying, hey, I need a break. Because in gymnastics, it's mental. A lot of that is mental. And if you cannot perform, you can kill yourself. If you can't hit a backflip on a balance beam, you can break your neck. If you cannot land properly on a dismount, you can hurt your spinal cord. There's so many things that can go on in your head mentally to not allow you to perform. So I'm giving prayers out to everybody that's dealing with mental health issues. Special prayers to Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka. Okay, guys, that's it for this week's show. Next week's show, talk about the Commissioner's Cup. I'll probably get Nick on here to talk about it. The week after that, I might do a show. I'm not quite sure. But if I do, the WNBA kicks off again Sunday, August the 15th. I'm looking on my calendar. August is going to be a rough month for me. I got some exciting news to share with you guys. I'm not going to share it just yet, but August, you probably won't get as many shows because I have some things I have to do and things I have to work out. But I'm going to try to do a show next week for sure. 19th and 26th are up in the air because I don't know what I'll have going on in my life at that time. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's almost been a year. I started the show a year ago. Not today, I don't think. I think it was probably a year ago next week or something like that. But we're 44 shows in. Like I said before, I appreciate Perry for allowing me to have this platform, the Unwrapped Sports Network for supporting me as well. I will be doing other shows. I'm going to do the hard count with CJ and Connie. Connie has 3 shows, with CJ and Connie probably sometime coming up because we're going to do the NFL preview. Of course, you guys know Count the Bucket is this Saturday. We're going to talk about free agency. Oh my goodness. We're going to dive into that. And then I'm probably going to do some other stuff. I did Saturday standouts with Ethan. I did the Big 12 preview. We did over under for the Big 12. So you guys should go check that out. I did that last night. I'm a busy woman, but I'll keep you guys updated on everything that I'm doing and keep you guys in the loop. I got 2 more sponsors before I head out of here. I got rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your entire order. It's warm and cool CBD cream made with all natural products, and there are celebrity believers that use the product. So check out rxhemp.com. Use the code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your entire order. Also, the Patreon. That is probably the most important one I want to talk about. And why is it not up? Okay, there it is right there. It's getting ready to pop up for you guys. Let me share the screen. I think it's still loading. All right. Check out patreon.com/unwrappedsports. $1 a month, general support. We appreciate it. $5 a month, you become part of the family. 10% off the Teespring shop I talked about before. 24/7 access to the Discord chat that's been going crazy with betting. $10 a month, VIP. I'm a part of that. 20% off the Patreon. 20% off the Teespring shop, excuse me, if you use the Patreon code, of course. And then 24/7 access to Discord chat. And you get put in a running for some signed memorabilia. I think last month was a Mark Ingram jersey. I think Mark Ingram jersey was last month. Then we have Ricky Williams. I won Keenan Allen jersey. Garrett won a Bears jersey from David Montgomery. So there's a lot of cool prizes in that if you are part of VIP. So check out patreon.com/unwrapsports. I am signing off, and I will see you guys next week.